The Tory government have repeatedly promised us to take back control of our borders. They want to put Britain first and our British workers, but no, that's not happening. We actually now have top senior Tories like George Eustace, oh dear, who's come out to say, actually, we need more migration. Tobias Ellwood has come out to say we need to rejoin the single market. Now, I don't have a problem with the concept of economic migration. But there is a time and place for it. Right now, we have a massive issue with illegal migration. We got a problem, wider problem with mass migration. Put British people first. When you have 5 million people, over 5 million people in this country, still on work-related and work support benefits, universal credits and everything else, then that's a big problem. If the whole concept of economic migration for developed countries was supposed to be, okay, everybody else in the country is now, almost everybody, most people, are now prosperous, they have a job. Now that we have a lot of jobs that need to be filled, we don't have any workers in our own country, so let's bring in more people from others. But you have to have a grown-up conversation. It has to be case by case, it has to be fully vetted, and you have to know, for example, if you need, okay, we need 5 doctors, for example, we run out of doctors in this country, or for example, anything else, engineers, IT experts. But you can't really have a blanket policy and say, well, let's just open the doors to everybody. That's not how things work. And that's not what people voted for. In 2016 EU referendum, in the 2019 general election for Boris Johnson, now it's all kicking off. And Reform UK and Richard Tice have made another video attacking the Tories for proposing these ideas.
There we are, another week, another great Tory Brexit betrayal. So we've had former Chancellor Philip Hammond, current Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, and now George Eustace saying the way to control inflation is to have yet more immigration. But we've got record population in this country. We've got 5 million of our own British workers on out-of-work benefits. Why would you abandon them? The Tories have completely failed to take advantage of Brexit. They haven't cut taxes, they haven't cut regulations, they've allowed immigration to soar to record levels last year, 1.2 million people coming into the UK. But these senior Tories now, they want actually to reduce the wages of ordinary British families, British workers. They want to depress British wages in order to control inflation. How about actually cutting wasteful government spending, of which there's tens of billions, so that you can then cut consumer taxes, you can cut daft regulations. That's how you create growth, it's how you reduce inflation. But the Tories are out of ideas, so they want to drag us ever closer to the EU, not only with more immigration, but you've got people like Tobias Ellwood, chair of the Defence Select Committee, an influential Tory MP. He wants us to rejoin the single market. So the Tories want to drag us back to the EU. Sir Keir Starmer and the Labour Party want to drag us back ever closer to the EU, or indeed back into the EU. Only Reform UK, formerly the Brexit Party, will do Brexit properly and take control of our money, our laws and our borders. The only net zero we want in this country is net zero immigration.
I can't disagree with any of that. Again, it's about having a grown-up conversation. You can't really have a situation where you say, all right, as the economy needs to grow and we have to tackle inflation. So what we're going to do is bring down people's wages and just basically say, we're going to sacrifice the British culture and our basic identity as a nation. So basically destroy the nationhood as a concept and just open the door to everybody else. Then what's the point of having a flag and having borders? Now, there will be those extreme liberals who say, yes, that's exactly what we want. We don't want borders and flags. Sure, I also understand the concept of the Star Trek utopia. But firstly, one, you can't force it. You can't rush it. And when you have a situation where we live in the 21st century, where there are still different continents, different tribes, different cultures, with different upbringing, and different background story, different heritage, different type of cultures and education system. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody has the same level of values. And then they can't completely be compatible with each other. You cannot, for example, have a massive group of white Germans moving to Saudi Arabia and expect people in Saudi to be absolutely fine with it. It changes what Saudi is supposed to be, it changes what Japan is supposed to be, what France is supposed to be. You've seen what's happening in Western Europe already, in our own country, even in parts of America. Now, in America, they say, oh, it was always a nation of migrants. It was a nation of settlers. And there's a whole difference when they came and established the country. And then you had the first wave of Europeans going there with the same level of values and ambitions. America started going down in the 20th century when you had the modern wave of Europeans who then left Europe to go to America because America was already established, it was already prosperous, and then they became entitled, saying, well, I am entitled to this, to that. I need free this and free that. And that's when countries go down. And self-determination, independence matter, not just for countries, but for citizens. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.